All right. Looks like we're live. Took a little second there. Man, this was a morning. This was kind of wild because like on top of Aetherdrift dropping, on top of getting the commander format panels bracket stuff announced, also had Civ 7 launch, and I haven't even got to touch that yet. So this is gonna be a heck of a week for me. But what I wanted to do is answer questions. If y'all want to hop into the chats here, I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of chance because we're gonna have stuff from several different spots, I'm sure, because we are streaming in 4 different places. So as people hop on, you can ask questions related to the format brackets, and I will try to answer them as best I can since I'm on the commander format panel. And while we do that, we'll be crafting cards and building decks for Aetherdrift Standard, so we can play those if we have time. If not, you'll get to see them in videos, of course. So yeah, interesting time to say the least. We're gonna be taking 2 formats in a different direction today, which is always fun. Let me adjust this camera here a little bit. I had it to the left a little bit there because we were opening some booster boxes yesterday. And that was a lot of fun if you missed that. Also, if you want to pick up cards for Aetherdrift or anything else, or fill out your commander decks, because we're doing a lot of commander talk today, check out our friends over at Tales of Adventure. That's that little thing down below me here, but toamagic.com. You can use code DRAGON, DRAG, and it'll save you 5%. Yeah, so here's the first thing I want to do. And I'm glad somebody saved me the time. I saw that on Reddit. This was a thing that somebody had made the deck list you can already download to put into Arena so that you can have all of the commons already in 2 parts and all of the uncommons in 2 parts, which is a big deal because one of the best things if you plan on opening a lot of packs, which most of us do on opening day, one of the things you can do is you can actually load all these cards in and then just craft them all using your existing common and uncommon wild cards. So here I've got 439 commons, 751 uncommon wild cards. So you go ahead and spin those, crafting the new commons and the new rare or uncommons. So that way, when you open your booster packs, all those commons and uncommons you already have now contribute toward the percentages on your vault, so you can get more rare and mythic wild cards faster. It's a little, I don't know if I'd call it a hack, but it's something that a lot of people do with every new set release. And it honestly makes a lot of sense. So here, like I said, we loaded up the first half of all the commons. We're just going to go ahead and hit craft all so we can use all of those rares or all those wild cards. Cool. And apparently that's worth an achievement. Oh yeah, achievements are going to be going off left and right. That's probably one for crafting cards or something that also just got added. All right, so we'll do that. That's done. I'm just going to delete that because we don't really need it as a deck list. But this link is super helpful because otherwise you have to like put in all 4, put in all 4, put in all 4. And it gets kind of tedious. Yeah, Dusty, I never crack my vault. Like, mostly because I just don't desperately need it. I think I've cracked it twice by accident and once or twice in the very beginning on Arena when I actually needed it for something. Otherwise, no, it's just there. Like one day I might need to crack it in case of emergency. But even for this, like I spent most of my gold just buying booster packs so I can open that up. So between sets, I have enough to get like 100, 150 packs every time a new set releases. But yeah, let me load this one up. This would be the second half of the commons. So go ahead, hit the craft button on all these. Oh, cute. Lightning strikes in there. Oh, weird. It didn't... Oh, I guess regular lightning strikes in this set. All right, hold on. I have to put lightning strike in here from this set. Let me go to things I haven't collected yet. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Take that one out. Where is the new one? This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Craft all. All right. How many wild cards are there? I still have 119 common wild cards. Jeez, that's way too many. Was that everything we just crafted? Sweet. Cool. So now I can delete that. And then I just got to do the uncommons real quick, and then we'll open the packs and see what we got. But also, welcome everybody. Do achievements give rewards or just a score? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm assuming some kind of reward, but I'm totally not an achievement hunter. I don't do that on any game. Like, I remember playing Fable 2, and at one point there's like these gargoyle statues or something you have to go around and shoot. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm not going to go all the way back through the game and hunt down like 4 gargoyle heads or whatever it was. It's or when I played, I think Arkham Asylum, the first one had something like that too, where you had to find like all the Riddler tokens, if I remember right. And I had friends going, "Oh, but you only completed like 92% of the game." I'm like, "Yeah, and I'm done with it." Like I don't like I get it. That's a thing for some people, but like that's just I don't know. It just feels weird that that's a thing. Once I've had my fun, I've had my fun. Same here. Let's see. Spell Pierce. We have to put the new one in here too. Go back to not collected. Put in Spell Pierce. That's going to be a real spell to watch out for, by the way. That's back in standard. A lot of people, I think, are going to get caught with Spell Pierce for the first couple weeks because they're going to forget. All right. Delete that. And then one last load of uncommons, and I think we're good. And then we should be all set to go. A little bit of a hassle, but like I said, you get a little added bonus from doing it if you have the wild cards. You may not, so I totally understand if you don't. But if you do, and a lot of it's just kind of gathered from doing regular daily stuff, like nothing crazy to get that many wild cards. I kind of just sitting on them. All right, then we'll craft all those to hunt it. And then that is done. So we get rid of that. All right, cool. Now we can get to the opening packs and deck building portion. But yeah, welcome everybody. Looks like some folks are starting to stroll in here. And yeah, if y'all have any questions about the commander brackets, the different cards for the game breakers, all that stuff, feel free to post it in the chat. We'll use this for research. I will bring it back to the team and we can talk about stuff too. So every bit of data we can get on it. Remember that this is a beta build, I guess, if you want to call it. So we're kind of just testing it. Wanted to get it out ahead of Chicago so people can have time to build or whatever. And then when they get there, we can see how it works out. And then, make updates, talk about it, see if it's any good, how people feel about it in person, that whole thing. So just a little bit of insight there so people wonder why we're doing what we're doing. But anyway, let's go to the packs. We got a lot of packs to open. So let's start here. I always love that effect. That new effect's actually pretty sweet. Reveal all of these. Did we get anything we haven't? Oh, I do need to build this +1/+1 counters deck for blue-green. So it's kind of cool to have that. Definitely wanted Bright Glass, Gear Hulks. What else did we get here? Obviously the Verges. I am going to build a deck that plays a couple of Full Throttle at some point. Alright, so there's a lot of cards here we were actually planning on crafting and using anyway. So that's cool. Not too upset by that. Wastewood Verge, I definitely need... Oh, we got a couple of those. Awesome. Because I have a list right now that has a few of those. Yeah, and the other thing, because I have people ask, like, how do we decide what to build early when you don't know what you're going to have yet or whatnot? So, what I actually do is, for me, I build some deck lists and put them in first. Then I open some packs. And then whatever lists have the most cards already there from what I've opened or use the least wild cards to complete, I often start with those. And then over the next couple of days playing those 2 or 3 decks, then I've now got another couple of gold to open up some more packs or buy some more wild cards or whatever the case is. And then I finish off the next deck and the next deck. And then by then you just have enough cards in general that you may only be missing 1 or 2 here or there and you can just build decks. It's kind of how I go about it. But yeah, I've had people ask that, like, each set, like, how do you start? How do you know where to go? And it's like, that's literally it. It's just, lists are already in there. You open up all your packs. Some number, where maybe I start out missing 25 of the cards, but after I open the packs, some of the lists I only need 6 cards, but other ones I still need 15. Well, I'll go ahead and spin the wild cards on the ones that I already only need, like, 6 of, so I can conserve some wild cards for later, but still get to play a couple of the lists that I want. So after I'm done with all this, obviously, we'll talk about some deck lists that we already have available. 10 at a time. This is going to take a minute. Gonna get a lot of wild cards in the process, too. That's the other thing. From opening all these cards, you do get a lot of wild cards. Because remember that every 6 spins, or every 6 packs, is a wild card, but then every third one also gets you a mythic rare, not just a regular rare. And then about every 10, this time we got a rare and a mythic. I'm going to say about every other opening, you tend to get either a rare or a mythic wild card as well. Or each group of 10. But we got quite a few already in this one. Yep, there's another wild or rare. And a mythic. Alright, so we're getting quite a few just opening packs today, which is a little abnormal. Yeah, there's another rare one. Has anybody played Civ 7, by the way? Didn't get one that time. It's on my list of things to do, but, you know, I got to get work stuff done first, so Magic's got to come first. Alright, well, this isn't bad. Not only are we opening a lot of cards we need, we're also getting quite a lot of wild cards. It feels like an abnormally high number. But I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. It's going to make it pretty easy to build the decks that we want. And yeah, I went ahead and crafted spent a bunch of gold ahead of time. So y'all wouldn't have to go through the process of like, go to the store, spend the gold, buy chunks of 10 packs or whatever. Just did it all at once. But while I was waiting to get the stream started. All right, cool. Packs have been purchased. Cards have been opened. And then let's go look at what we have deck-wise. Actually, let me go to my profile real quick. I'm just curious, after that, how close we got on the collection. Alright, so we got at least one of every card. Oh, all the commons are complete. All the uncommons, because we crafted those. And then we're missing one rare and one mythic to have at least one of everything. So that's not too bad. Alright, that was a pretty balanced opening. Always just curious about that. Alright. Didn't fully complete any decks that we want to play. So we got Selesnya tokens, red-white vehicles. We also have Naya mounts. We've got a weird Golgari deck I wanted to try, some Rakdos Sacrifice, and then a Legends Monument deck. Now, we did end up with 59 rares, wild cards, and 14 mythics. So I did have, I believe, 4 mythics and 23, either 23 or 32 rares. So I had some of those already. We didn't get all those from opening packs. So just want to be clear about that. So now we open these up and say, this one's missing 2. And there's a mythic and a rare. So that's actually not too bad. And we're going to play Bright Glass Gear Hulk and probably 2 or 3 other lists in the next couple weeks. So I don't mind that. But Market Back Walker is a different card. Market Back Walker probably is only in this list. So sometimes you have to think about that before you want to craft stuff. In the mounts deck, I probably need several. Nope. Just need Kolaghan. And Kolaghan just eats up some rares. And again, Kolaghan's only going to be in this deck. But since I have excess rare wildcards, we're probably okay there. Webstrike Elite, we know this is good. So we're probably going to play this in a couple of different builds. So I don't mind that. So it looks like we did pretty good. Nothing really needs more than a couple of wildcards. Old Bloodghast, huh? Well, what if I take that Bloodghast out? What did we get from regular Bloodghast from this set? Did we get any? Looks like no. Oh, well, it helps if I spell it right. I was like, wait a minute. Why did Bloodghast not even come up? That's weird. Okay, so we have 4 Bloodghast. So we can actually just play this. Actually, Bloodghast... Oh, and the Bauble are the only 2 cards that got added here. All right, yeah, so we can just play this. This is just what it is. All right. So that one actually was done. It just had the wrong version of the card in there. And then Legends and Mounts, the Monument to Endurance. This card, honestly, I think is going to get played in way more lists than even it is right now. The card's actually just silly good, honestly. I don't even know what else to say about it. The card's just very, very good. Though, I think in this list, I probably want to play like 1 Abrade. Mostly because it can still kill early creatures, but possibly also kill some vehicles and things. Or get rid of opposing monuments, I guess could be a thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and craft that. That's just one. We'll make that live. And then the mounts and vehicles only just needed the coal in it. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and craft all these. Like, we actually got a pretty balanced open, and this doesn't hammer our cards all that much, really. So that's kind of nice. We kind of got to keep most of our wild cards. And actually, we didn't even have to use very many mythics, which is kind of a rare thing. Oh, that also means we opened most of the Verge lands that we needed. I just realized that. That's kind of cool. Not what I was expecting. Yeah, alright, cool. Well, that was kind of nice. And we still have 13 mythic rares and 52 rare wild cards. So that's actually real good. So that means in the future, we should be able to build whatever we want for the next week or two, unless it just goes ham on some mythic we just don't have any copies of. But I think we only had one mythic we didn't get, so that's actually pretty cool. Also, welcome to everybody hanging out on the different platforms right now. Condolences if you were a Chiefs fan, because to put it lightly, that was a bit of a butt whooping. And I know some people were really looking forward to a three-peat, but yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't even want to root for the Eagles, to be honest. But damn, that was a whooping. I really got nothing else to say. That was just a straight up whooping. It was embarrassing. It was funny too, because some people tried to say like the halftime show cost the NFL viewers afterwards, and it's like, no, the game was 24-0. There wasn't much to watch after that. Like, the Chiefs came out, went 3 and out, and then after that, you're like, you know, that game's over at that point, right? Nobody had any real hope. If anything, you were just making crazy side bets and Vegas bets to make yourself feel good and get a little something out of it. But we all knew that game was over. All right. What are we doing here? All right, so let's try this. Hey Jack, how's it going? The Chiefs fell flat that night? Yeah, you ain't lying. Fell flat is an understatement. What type of decks are people looking? Ignore what I have on the screen. As a matter of fact, I will switch, because anytime I say that, like, people just look at what's on screen and are just like, those, play that, right? Let's not do that. My question though is, what type of decks are you wanting to see this season or wanting to work on? Cap Rogers, how's it going? Hey, from Ireland. Hey, we love you too. I've only met a few Irish people, and they've always been great. Honestly. Ireland has always had, I've had great interactions. Aussies and Kiwis have been fantastic every single time I've met them. Germans have also been very cool every time I've met them. So, lots of neat people from around the world. Oh, funny, I just said that, and then Nerdic pops up being from Germany. That's so funny. I literally just said that. Sadly, it's late here. Yeah, that is the rough part. You know, opposite sides of the world do get weird hours. I get weird hours anyway, being on the West Coast in the U.S., because I'll be up late doing stuff, but midnight my time is like 3 in the morning on the East Coast. So if I'm not on or done by like 10 p.m. my time locally, a bunch of people in the U.S. can't even interact with my stuff. It's very weird. The U.S. is huge, honestly. You saw a pretty interesting black-white rest in peace deck. Actually, I don't find those interesting. Like the rest the rest in peace decks and the what do you call, raise the past decks. I see so many of those. It feels like. No, it says you're surrounded by Brazilians and they're all. Oh yeah, Brazilians are pretty chill. Actually, South Americans as a whole are pretty chill. Almost midnight in Germany. Yeah, that sounds about right. Am I planning to attending Chicago? Yeah, I'll be in Chicago. I'll be there the whole weekend. I get on Thursday night and I leave on Monday morning. So I do that for most events, so I have time to relax, check out local stuff, at least like go out and eat once, maybe take my time in the morning I leave. So yeah, for sure. Definitely will be in Chicago. And then in March, so on the weekend, I believe of the 17th. Let me check my calendar. Oh gosh, the 14th to the 16th? That might be wrong. Hold on. Let me check out the Hunter Burton Memorial Open website, because that's a charity we do every year. Yeah, March 14th to the 16th. I'll be in Dallas area work doing that charity. So you can catch me there too. I'm going to be in a couple of different spots. And then after that, I don't think I'm doing any major traveling. I think anything I do until June is drivable, so I'll be nearby. And then I may do the cookout stuff in LA, but that's also the week right before MagicCon Vegas. So I kind of have to make a decision on how much I want to do both of those back to back. Brian says, surrounded by Brazilians, we should all be so lucky. For real, they are great people. Your first MagicCon? Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. I will say this, like, the thing about MagicCons is don't try to do everything in any convention, honestly, if you've never gone. Don't try to do everything too fast. And MagicCon's like the right size where you can genuinely take your time and enjoy each thing. You don't have to be in a rush, right? Especially if you have a weekend badge. There's like just enough that it can feel like a lot, but you can still take your time. It's not like, I don't know, Gen Con, where there's like literally, I think their exhibit hall has like 1,000 vendors or something. That room is so huge and full of people. But here, like, if you want to see the artists, you know, take your time. Find different artists that are going to be there. Bring your cards, get stuff signed, buy their merch. You know, the merch lines are very, very long. So either try to get there very early in the morning or just wait and go at the end of the day when the lines are mostly gone. Because otherwise, you're going to get in the line and you're going to be waiting sometimes like an hour and a half. Like, I've seen those lines get so long. And they have a lot of people working them. I mean, they'll sometimes be 12, 16 people getting people through those lines. But yeah, merch lines can get backed up. What other tips? Check the schedules. Or check in with your favorite creators so you kind of know where they're at. Follow them on socials because they'll post what they're doing if you want to meet them. And yeah, and otherwise just enjoy it. This year they're gonna add D&D to this one for the first time too. So if you're a D&D fan, there will be some of that stuff there as well. Oh, also, the McCormick Convention Center. It's super large. Even if you're staying in a hotel connected to the venue, it might still be a long walk depending on where you're at in the venue and where your hotel is. Like, it's so long, the locals literally refer to it as the McCormick Mile. Like, I can tell you last year, we walked about 15 to 20 minutes from our hotel through the building to where we wanted to go. Matter of fact, me and Shivam ended up figuring out where the building was so we could just shortcut and walk outside and then save ourselves like 10 minutes of walking. So it's a humongous, but probably the largest convention center in the country, if I were guessing. The Vegas one's pretty big too, though. I know there's probably way more info than people wanted if you're not going to Chicago, but there you go. And that's only 2 weeks away, so expect to have some fun with that. But yeah, okay, back to the original question. I think we got so busy talking about things from around the world and events and stuff. What type of decks are y'all looking at playing or wanting to see? Or what cards, actually, individually, do you want to see featured? I think is another interesting point. Yeah, I think when traveling, anybody that can give you any type of details to make traveling easier is always nice, right? If you're doing it for the first time, it's all going to be very new and there's a lot of stuff to figure out. I will say though, O'Hare's not a bad airport. It can get a little crowded because of how like people are deboarding and whatever through different areas, but otherwise, like it's not bad. It's a reasonable airport. Any Jund builds viable and standard? Yeah, we played Jund last season, so I'm sure we just add some cards to it. Still totally viable. Doggy mounts? I'm going to say this. I have some mounts list with the dog in it, but I'm not sold that the dog is a good card just yet. It might be. It might genuinely be, but I'm not bought in on the dog, I guess. Excuse me. All right, so here's one thing I did want to do. So let's go in. And of course, one of the things I didn't put in here is something I'm probably going to have to craft wildcards for, but that's okay. Standard. So let's go with Simic counters. And I don't know what this needs to look like yet. So we're just going to put some different cards in here. I'm going to start with things that just say counter on them that happen to be blue and green, which means that our little doggy friend will likely make the cut. I don't know if any actual just regular blue cards make the cut on this list. Now I'm thinking about it. Probably not. I don't think I think all the cards I'm thinking of are either green and green blue. Which, you know, spells, obviously, in blue will get to make the cut. But, what else would we do here? The other thing, too, is trying to figure out how many anti-artifact or anti-enchantment cards we'll need to be playing in the new standard. Because that also seems like a thing to figure out. This could give stuff trample. I don't really particularly like this card because, you know, 5 mana for a 4/4 is like bleh, and if you play it early, it doesn't really do anything. But it does still have the ability that each creature you control +1/+1 has trample. You saw in some uncommon 2 mana blue mill artifact. Oh yeah. That's a new one for sure. What are we doing? What are we looking for here? Obviously, play some number of Ozolith. I think that's a given. Think we can get away playing Beast Caller. I know people can say play Mossborn Hydra, but here's my problem with the Hydra. Either it works and it's perfect, or it's just an awful top deck card. Like, if you build around it and everything is about putting lands into play and whatever, I think it's at least has a shot. But if we're just doing general +1/+1 counters, I'm not that excited about it. So it's not going to make the cut here. I do want to try some number of Thunderous Velocipedes. Obviously, some number of Tumblewags. I actually like Velocipede more than I like Tribute to the World Tree. While it doesn't draw cards, just making everything bigger and everything getting counters and having a creature left behind after a sweeper is kind of nice. So we'll see how that works. They didn't get into some weird upper end stuff, right? Like, you know, Railway Brawler and whatever, but I don't think that's really what we're trying to do here. Quilled Great Worm, I think, is a little bit of just overkill. I mean, I could put one for sport and see what happens. Wondering if Doorkeep Thrall is going to be good in Standard. I don't even know what that card does, so I'll look it up in a second. But I have a feeling that I'm going to say no. Doorkeep. I'm assuming it's like black or something. Like, I don't know. Oh, this? Artifacts and creatures entering don't cause abilities. I mean, kinda. The problem is a lot of the cards being played don't necessarily have enter the battlefield abilities we're worried about. Like, I think there's a future where this card could be something that you want to play, but right now, I think a lot of the creatures are just good doing creature things. You know, I don't think it's because they enter and do something crazy. Like, you know, Thunder's Velocipede, sure, I guess stuff won't get counters when it enters, but like they're still decent creatures on their own. Your Steel Deck had Mascot, played it twice. Once it ran over the other deck, once it didn't make it back to my turn. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the card still might be good. Oh, wait, that's another one. Patchwork Recruit. I knew it was something obvious I was forgetting. I mean, this is the part where I'm just going to shove cards into a pile right now, and we can talk about what they should be in a bit. It's always hard. This is the part of deck building where, you know, everybody thinks there's like a refined science, but sometimes it's just, let me grab some cards, let me see what works, how close can we get? You know, also, does it need to be Bant? So we could play stuff like Botanical Brawler and maybe Battle for Gobakon or whatever. That could be a reasonable argument. I don't think that's what we're trying to do with this particular list. I guess I'll try one or two Siddha Varma. Not excited about the card, but I at least want to give it a shot. This puts counters, but only on colorless things. So that's not good. And then, of course, I want to play some number of Sabsunin, because that's one of the reasons. Oh, wait, did I put the wrong Zamone in here? I did. I don't want that one. I want this one. Prime Speaker Zagana. When it enters, put X counters or X the greatest power among creature control. When it enters, draw cards equal to its power. It costs 5, though. I'd probably rather just have another Sabsunin at that point. Also get to play Repulsive Mutation. That card's always tricky and unexpected. I don't mind that. But not a lot of blue cards. I don't even know if we need Goldvein Hydra, to be honest. Like, Goldvein Hydra sort of works because it kind of gives you a chance to unlock Siddha Varma for something reasonable, potentially. I mean, that's kind of a thing. I don't think we need Crow Great Worm, though. As exciting and funny as that card is, I think I'm okay not playing it. Latino Kid Romeo, how's it going? Our channel is based around playing Standard, my friend. And in my free time, I play Commander. And I haven't played another format since, oh gosh, before the pandemic. Like, I literally still have a modern legacy deck sitting where I can see them right now, and I have not. They are still built pre-pandemic, and then I have some cards for. Oh, is that even? Oh, I guess I have enough cards for Mono Green Pioneer that I assembled but didn't put into an actual deck and in sleeves. So I have the ability to play multiple formats. I just don't. Mostly because, you know, this is my job now, so this is what I do. Okay. So let's get back to business here. Is this almost all creatures, actually? Okay, 28 creatures, the 2 vehicles. Yeah, I'll go ahead and craft that. Why not? And then, of course, we got to pull our proper lands and stuff in it. I don't even know if we have room for Gold Vein Hydra. Like, I'm serious sitting here looking, and I'm just like, do we even try? Like, is it necessary? Like, don't get me wrong, I like having a haste creature that gets bonuses for counters and stuff, which is super nice. But that might be the only benefit here. We're also not playing any. I mean, it still lives, what, 26 creatures? Yeah. And we're still not playing. Oh, what's that thing? The talent? The Hunter's Talent, I think it is. No, Hunter's Talent's the one that fights. Innkeeper's Talent, the one that puts the counters. Like, this seems like it could probably be good too. Trying to figure out like how many defensive spells do we need, right? We are playing Repulsive Mutation, but like we probably need a couple of fight spells or something. That's probably more accurate. So let's just play creature deals damage targets. See what group of cards that brings up. Like hard-hitting question, bite down. I mean, we could play Hunter's Talent. It could also double as a way for us to draw cards. So like that's possible. How many things? This actually gets counters. This possibly puts counters. Bristly Bill puts counters. Ozolith puts counters. This gets its own counters. Ornery Tumblewag puts counters. Velocipede puts counters. All right, so we do have a lot of stuff that's pushing the theme. Same here. Have a legacy and 2 modern decks. I've never played them. That's fair. Enduring Curiosity, that's not really what we want to be doing here. We don't often want to be leaving mana up. While getting a card is nice, we don't have a lot with like trample or flying or anything like that. So we're just trying to brute force our opponents for the most part. Scavenging Ooze is relevant. That's one you could actually consider playing. I think Scavenging Ooze could be a real card. That's one that I can genuinely make an argument for. So here's what I think I want to do. I want to go 2 Ozolith, even though having more Ozolith is probably right. And go to 3 Zimone. Which, by the way, I thought this was pronounced Zimone at first. And maybe that's just my black side coming out. But I swear, Zimone just made more sense to me. And then when R&D, I heard them pronounce it actually as Zimone. I was like, oh, all right, it's just Zimone then. That's why sometimes I think these need to come out with pronunciation guides. With all the proper names and different things. Or like weird terms. They need to just get... Because like honestly, to this day... There's still people I run into that say Garrick and some that say Garuk. And I don't, and to my knowledge, everybody at Wizards, even when I was there, says Garrick. But for some reason in the public, people still say Garuk. And I don't know why that is. But there's also people that still pronounce Scourge as Scourge. And like, Scourge is just a regular English word. So I don't know. Like, just the way things are sometimes. All right, so let's go ahead and cut 1 Zimone. Let's add 2 Scavenging Ooze. Maybe more. I don't know. but at least 2. And then probably just 2 straight up fight or removal spells, I think. I think that's what we want to do. It's probably our best bet. But honestly, I'm like, I mean, Scavenging Ooze helps against mono red. I mean, because that's kind of my issue. Is we don't have any sizable bodies unless we just play like Sabsunin early and then just go nuts. But I think that's kind of my issue on like how good is District Mascot in a lot of matchups. Because it's just a 1/1 that like slowly kind of becomes a 2/2, 3/3. And I guess maybe if I want to use a Paw Patch Recruit and I don't want to attack with it, that's kind of the benefit there. And it's another way to get rid of artifacts and enchantments, obviously. Like, that's the good part. Sometimes you just tap a creature, attack with it, remove the 2 counters, right? Like, it just kind of is what it is. Just realized that Zimone's doubling ability is busted with the Aether Spark and constructed. Kinda. Like, if there were a deck to play the Aether Spark, it would probably be something like this. But, and I'll bring that up too. Because I had some people reach out to me and say, like, do I really think Aether Spark is that bad? And I try to tell people, one, if you haven't watched them, I make every set, I make the craft and don't craft video. So go check that out. But on the don't craft list, I had Aether Spark because I could see a lot of people going, okay, I need to craft 2 or 3 of these, put them in my deck or whatever. But we have yet to see a deck where Aether Spark just goes nuts. You know what I mean? Even in this deck, where it can put +1/+1 counters on things, like, are we playing it just to draw cards? You know what I mean? Like, because the rest doesn't greatly matter. And then on top of that, the other issue is that it counts as an artifact, and people are already going to be playing things that destroy artifacts and enchantments now. Partly already enchantments because of all the Duskmourn stuff, and now artifacts because of all the stuff from Aetherdrift. So now this is going to catch collateral damage. You're going to spend 4 mana. You're going to target to move it onto something, and then they kill it. Or you maybe get 1 hit with it or 1 block with it, and then they kill it. Which isn't terrible, but it's also 4 mana. And it's just like, what else can we do with 4 mana, you know? Now, that being said, maybe somebody figures out a deck where the -10 is huge, and getting that 10 mana lets you combo off, and then they just go nuts. And that's probably ultimately where that ends up living. But yeah, so a couple of obvious things here now that I'm thinking about it. No Llanowar Elves currently in this list. Maybe you don't need it because we're playing District Mascot, Paw Patch Recruit. We have a bunch of things that cost 2 anyway. So an elf doesn't do a lot for us other than maybe fast tracking to Sabsunin. You know, don't know if that's accurate or not. Just spitballing some ideas here. I do think we want some number of removal spells, because otherwise I don't see how we can hang with mono red realistically. Like, we have to be able to kill stuff. Here's the thing, Latino kid. I'm gonna say this. One, if you want to hear my entire rant, go watch the first like 15 minutes of our podcast from last week, Color of Magic. It's on the channel. You can go watch it. But short version is the set's fine. Not everything's gonna hit for everybody. Some people didn't like the Old West theme, right? Some people didn't like the woodland animals. Some people didn't like the horror theme. That's fine. Like, the biggest issue, I think, is it's just 5 in a row. So, you know, that's going to have people feeling however they feel. But the reality is, good cards are still good, right? Don't let your dislike of a theme keep you from playing quality cards. Like, good cards are just good cards. Yeah, but see, I thought Innistrad Remastered wasn't even well timed because we already just had a lot of Innistrad. Like, we just had it leave standard, and then we did Innistrad Remastered. Now, that said, I think Innistrad Remastered was a good set because they just filled it with a lot of cool stuff. You know, and that's really what you should do for reprint sets. Just go nuts, and I think they got it right for that one. So, good on them. But it wasn't about having it longer because it was all old cards. It was all reprints. So no matter what hype you had, it can only go so far because there's nothing new, you know? Maybe to some Commander players, there's a little bit of new stuff because some cards they can afford now because the price came down or whatever. But that's like the most new you can really have with it, if that makes sense. But yeah, this set has lots of good cards in it. Lots of good cards. So don't sell it short because you're not into race cars or whatever. Like the only thing, if there was anything, if I could have a candid conversation with R&D about all of these themes, is that if we're gonna do it, let's just commit to the bit. That would be my thing. Like in Thunder Junction, right? Let's make it seriously Western. Let's have sheriffs and have a mechanic where, I don't know, a creature gets locked up for 2 turns or whatever it is, right? Like going, like we didn't even have a stagecoach vehicle really. Like we had kind of one, sort of, but like, let's really go in on the theme and hammer it hard. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go, uh, woodland animals, I think they at least got that one about as close to right as they can do. I think Duskmorn, we could have committed to the horror a little bit more if you wanted to. I also think Karlov Manor, I've said this many, many times, should have just been set on New Capenna. And we could have just went in on the crime families and made it a whole drama. And, instead of kind of like halfway committing because it's on Ravnica and we can't really kill certain characters and we can't really have certain characters get convicted. And like, we had to protect too many things by being on Ravnica. Whereas if we'd done it on New Capenna, we could have just went nuts with it, That's kind of my personal perspective. Like, and same thing on this set. You can make it kind of a death race, right? Did some characters die? Did things blow up? Did, whatever. Or go the other way and make it just like the Great Space Race, Wacky Racers, whatever, Mario Kart, right? Like have crazy things, banana peels, whatever, right? Commit to it one way or the other. That's all I'm saying. Is there a Simic Gear Hulk? No. All the Gear Hulks are friendly colors. So you have a blue-black, a red-green, blue-white, white-green, but no blue-green ones. We have Sabsunin. That's our thing. That's what we get. Yeah, so 3 last cards. I'm thinking maybe the talents. But I'm still debating how we're going to handle the mono red decks efficiently. And I don't know if we can do it without maybe playing, like if we get like an early repulsive mutation, there's a world where we could counter something and put a counter on something, like maybe that could be a thing. But beyond that, I'm not sure. I think that's my concern right now, because we do have like efficiency. We can play stuff very well. But how do we either make creatures big enough fast enough? I mean, obviously, again, if we get Zamone with as a 1/4 or we get Sabsunin, then like, sure, maybe things happen. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Bounce spells are probably better, but then what gets cut? Right? Because now this is the part of deck building where you have to, as the editors say, sometimes you have to fire your darlings. There might be cards we like that we just go, maybe, just maybe we can't play that. I don't know. So, like, do we cut one Bristly Bill since it's legendary? Are we playing one less district mascot? Possibly. Like, it's like really tough where we decide where this goes. Like Horn Lockwell's fine-ish. I mean, it gets the job done. I'm not gonna be mad at it. But it always feels to me like it's just never exciting enough for me. I mean, we're playing creatures, so I'm not opposed to playing it. Just want to play with Last Ride and Bloodghast? Somebody will probably build that. Sounds like I missed the 3 blocks? Absolutely do not. Here's the thing. And I had this discussion kind of with somebody online the other day. Folks right now, this is going to be, if you're into sports, this will make sense when I say it. But people right now are romanticizing 3-set blocks like they are Jordan shooting 3-pointers. Right? You see this footage of Jordan shooting a game-winning 3-pointer. People are like, oh, Jordan was this amazing 3-point shooter. And he wasn't. Great basketball player, wasn't a super outstanding 3-point shooter. But people have seen the clips enough that now they're just like, oh, this is a thing. Kind of the same thing with 3-set blocks. Everybody thinks, oh, well, we have these issues because we don't have 3 sets. It's like you just haven't had them long enough, so long that you forgot. But the reality is, people got burnt out on 3 sets. That's why they eventually went to 2 and then just to 1. And now every once in a while we get 2. Because by the time we got to the 3rd set, people were done. They wanted something fresh and new. And some mechanics didn't even carry through the entire block. Like, we still got mechanics. If you go back and look, we have, of the whatever, damn near 200 mechanics we have for Arena, like, or for Magic, there's a bunch that are only in 1 set. Even if you go back to when we had 3-set blocks. So those weren't really solving any of the problems people think we have now. The only difference is, if you did like a theme, we would just be on that plane longer and you get more of it, which is great. Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong for feeling like that, but that's like the only real upside. Yeah, that's exactly it. J Money has a great point. If we would have done a block with Karlov Manor, people wouldn't have liked it and they'd have been mad that we had a whole year of that, murder mystery stuff, and they wouldn't have enjoyed it. There's an argument black-green has lots of creatures that refuse to stay dead. I don't know if you've already featured it on an earlier cast, just letting you know. Argument that black-green has lots of creatures. I don't know what the argument would be. Like, I'm not even understanding why there's an argument. Like, if a deck color has some creatures that are hard to kill, then they have creatures that are hard to kill. But yeah, 3-set blocks, I think, are just romanticized at this point. I don't think they're as good, or were even as good, as people think they were. Actually, you know what? Here's a good thing, right? Here's another way to look at it. People forget, and I remember seeing this just before Wizards announced we were going to have 3-year standard. The people are like, oh, standard should rotate faster, and we should have a shorter standard. We literally tried that. People hated it so much, it barely got through the first rotation before they changed it back. Like, people don't remember that. That was like 2016, I think, around that time. But it literally was a very, very small window. It lasted almost no time. And then we went back to 2 years. And then, time went by. They worked on some stuff, whatever. And now we have 3-year standard. And as it turns out, 3-year standard's actually been pretty damn good. It's been kind of baller, y'all. Like, so as much as we thought it was going to be a problem or whatever, it's actually turned out to be fantastic. But anyway, yeah, let's play a couple of Hornlock Whale in here. I'm going to cut one Bristly Bill. I know he makes counters and all that. And then we'll go into land. So I'm going to go Verge, because we have a blue-green Verge. I don't even know how many of them that I cracked. Haha, I cracked enough that I don't actually have... Oh, wait, actually, blue's the second color, though. That's less than preferable. Yeah, we have way more green than blue, so maybe we can only play like 3 Verge. Ravnica already had 2 3-set blocks and 3 single-set blocks around an overarching block, as much as I like to play. And yeah, here's the thing. I think Ravnica's fine if we make it about the guilds, right? When it's, oh, I get more Boros cards, or I get more Izzet cards, or I get whatever. Like, people get excited. But when the story's not about that, we kind of just want the good cards out of the set for the most part, right? That was the issue with Karlov Manor. It was on Ravnica, but nothing in Ravnica really mattered. Right? Don't get me wrong, we got like a Niv Mizzet card, right? We had some of the name characters showed up, but they weren't really that impactful. They really didn't impact standard that much. They were kind of just there so we could say we justified being on Ravnica, right? Ravnica as a plane didn't matter. Like, nothing, it didn't feel like, oh, because like really, if you think about it, why wasn't Boros in charge of like the investigation or whatever, right? They're supposed to be the police, the military, blah, blah. Like, we should emphasize that. Right? There should have been something to do with more darker in the underground with like the Orzhov and where maybe the Orzhov's looking for the spirit of the people that died or whatever. And, we could have done more with it, but we didn't. So like at that point, that's what I'm saying. We should have just done it on New Capenna and just gone in on the whole film noir, murder mystery, whatever stuff. I think would have been cool. We had larger rotating formats before, 2 extended, and they got rid of that for some reason. Uh, I think Extended had the problem you're starting to run into now with Modern, is that it eventually just gets too big to where it really starts to feel like one of the Vintage formats, and being either Vintage or Legacy, right? Because really, when you look at Modern now, like Modern games don't play like regular Standard or Pioneer Magic games, right? Everything's super efficient. All the lists have a bunch of 1 and 2 mana things, or they're getting discounted stuff with Delve or whatever. They're just play. It's just hyper efficient, whatever. Like it's not the Discovery format like Pioneer still tends to be at times, or Standard, right? That's just not what Modern is. And at one point, Extended started to become like that. And then, as time went by, we got Modern. But now Modern's been like, there's more, hell, more than half the sets that have been created in Magic are legal for Modern, I'm pretty sure. That's how long Modern has been around as a format. So it's like probably time to, I don't know if I want to say sunset Modern, but probably start pushing Pioneer more because it's more accessible to more people. It's just as bad as Vintage. That's why they created Pioneer. Kind of, in a way. All right. So, other lands. We definitely need. I want at least 2 of the Restless whatevers. The ones that make the big 5/5s. So, this thing. Probably want some number of fast lands. Probably just 4. Just straight up go all the Botanical Sanctums. And then. We actually have no life gain in here, do we? That's not true. We have Scavenging Ooze. I guess that counts. There we go. You have my coast. I don't even know if there's any other land I need to be concerned about here. Maybe this is just what we roll with? And that gives us 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blue lands. Would it be possible to bring Extended back and make it a format that... No, that's just a waste. There's no point. Like, because here's the thing. Like, why would we need to bring Extended back? You realistically either play Vintage or you just play Modern at this point. Like, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Like, Extended being between Pioneer and Modern doesn't even really make sense. At that point, you're committing to either Modern or Pioneer. The other issue is, too, while we do have more Magic players and we are creating more Magic players every day, you do have player churn. Some people leave, some people come back, some people get other hobbies, whatever. Having more formats is usually not the answer. All you're going to likely do is splinter the player bases at more events and locations. Because some number of the players, and don't take this the wrong way, but this is usually how it happens. Some number of the players that are not as good or struggling are going to be the ones that hop on the new format first because they can be big fish, small pond, have the most information, whatever. So those people also tend to be the ones that fill those other events regularly, right? So now those people are going to cut off. So now you have just your best players left over, or the people who can't afford to build another deck playing either of the old formats, and then you have the other group trying to play the new format. So now neither's going to be fulfilled, and they're each going to have less attendance. When in reality, there's not going to be much difference on either side of that format. So it's probably not worth having. So yeah, I just don't think it's worth doing, honestly. And with the 3-year standard, you have enough time to play your deck to where if it rotates out in 3 years and you still want to play it, you can hop into Pioneer, pick up $30 worth of cards, and your deck's probably at least still somewhat competitive. It may not be top tier, but you're still not just going to get blown out playing your games. And that's like a reasonable progression for people to move into the next format to try the new thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, with kind of where we have it. Yeah, I guess we'll just try this for a minute. Play a couple of games with this because I don't know. I'm staring at this going like, this still we probably need more Horn Lockwell, whether I like it or not. Pioneer is where standard decks go to have a second life. Yeah, this day and age, for sure. Not unreal. Sirocco is back. You were on the other stream the other day, so welcome back. Scipio202 says if WotC pushes Pioneer more, they're going to have the discipline to not make a bunch of Pioneer Horizons sets that power creep the format like Modern. Eventually it happens. Like, let's say 10 years from now, Pioneer is the new Modern, then eventually there will be Pioneer Masters, Pioneer Horizons, whatever. Like, capitalism's going to make money. I mean, like, whether we like it or not, that's just the way it is. You know, Azorius Control is viable in Pioneer right now. And it's basically dead in standard. I wouldn't say it's dead in standard. I definitely wouldn't say that. It still shows up here and there, but definitely has a stronger life in Pioneer. But that's also because of the metagame more than the cards that are available. Here's the thing, though. Direct to format sets are so toxic. Like, sort of, but I do remember where people were upset and bored with Modern after a point because there wasn't any innovation. People were playing the same decks, right? Even when new sets came out, Modern players weren't buying stuff. They were playing the same stuff over and over. And I think it's a bit too much how much the new cards affected format? Absolutely. But I don't know if there's a clean argument for if it's truly better or worse. Because I don't think it was great before. It's just also bad now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't excited to play Modern before. I'm not excited to play Modern now. But that's my personal perspective. All right. So, how do we get another Horn Lockwell in here? Because I feel like between a couple of Hunter's Talents and Horn Lockwell, like, we could have some reasonable amount of play against the red decks. I don't know how much, but enough that it's not embarrassing. It's probably the real thing. And as long as we're around like 26-ish creatures, I feel all right with us playing like Beast Caller and stuff, like, and Bristly Bill. Like, we got to have places to put counters and things. So Seed of Varma might be the wrong choice here. I don't know. Maybe we don't go with this card. Ugh. I don't know. I hate these decisions. Do we just go no repulsive mutation? Is that the play? And we just play Horn Lockwells and our play is just like flash one of these in late game? We don't worry about the counter. We just flash in a 6/6. Is that our game plan? Man, that might actually have to be it. I don't know. Let's try it. I don't. Now we have way more creatures. 30 creatures. That seems unnecessary, but I don't know. Also, I'm only going to be on for about another hour, and then I'm going to hop over to the Magic Mike stream, which is also on YouTube and on Twitch, and we're going to probably play some Baldur's Gate if you want to watch us do that. Even though soon I need to hop on and play some Civilization 7. But yeah, we're in the third act of Baldur's Gate, but we still have a long way to go. We probably still have like 30 more hours to put into that game at least. And we've already played 100 plus. It's like, yeah, we're deep in that game. All right, let's try this though. I don't know. This might just be garbage. Y'all might get to be the beginning of a video that I just put on the cutting room floor, but that happens quite a bit. Y'all just don't get to see it. Oh boy, this looks like a mess though. I'm not gonna lie. This looks like a pile. But let's try. All right, folks. What's up, Dragon Brood people things? We're gonna try this. We're gonna go with some Simic counters. Lots of new cards in this deck, particularly one that I really wanted to try, and we'll talk about it here in a second. But we're going to be rolling with something that looks a little bit weird, and I don't know if this is the way to do it. I do think counters is possibly better as either Bant or Selesnya, but we're going to try this and see what's up. So we're starting with District Mascot, one of the new cards. It is only a 1/1. It does enter with one counter. There are some things that could obviously make that more than one counter, but we can remove 2 counters from it, destroy artifacts and enchantments. That's really the good part about this, right? And if we have to, we just saddle, attack, remove the counters, kill something. We won't love it, but you do what you got to do. Paw Patch Recruit ended up making the cut here because it does potentially put +1/+1 counters on things. It can be 2 creatures later. It does a few things to help us out. Also gives you a little bit of protection against Liliana because you get that second body, which is kind of nice. Bristly Bill, we started with more of these, but, you know, with the stream, as we were building decks, we just cut down to 2. It's legendary. Had to make room for other things. Hunter's Talent, mostly because we wanted some extra removal in here, and Hunter's Talent makes sense, giving us things with counters that can have trample, which we don't have a way to really punch stuff through, and occasionally we'll get to draw cards off of it, which is kind of nice. A couple of Ozolith, the Shattered Spire, for doubling up our counters, but also putting counters on things, which is nice. Korean Beastcaller happens to still be standard legal, so why not, right? We're playing 30 creatures or whatever it is, so should have a chance to put a lot of counters on this. Scavenging Ooze, if our early stuff dies, well, hopefully we'll have like a 4-4 or 5-5 Scavenging Ooze, so that's not bad. One of the other new cards here is Seed of Varma, Mask Racer. 2 mana, 2/3. I don't know that this exhaust is very good. However, if we just do have 5 or 6 mana laying around late in the game, we just go ahead and pump everything and attack. Maybe that's good enough. So we're going to play a couple and find out. Hopefully we get them into play. Ornery Tumblewag, we've played with this before. Put a counter on something. If it attacks while saddled, you get to double the counters. And Thunderous Velocipede. We played this earlier in a mono green list in the preseason. It was very good. I also like the fact that it leaves a creature behind so that you can attack with something after a sweeper, which is super good. But it just makes every creature you play so much better. And then we start getting into the tricky things here. So Zimone, at the beginning of combat on your turn, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on up to 2 things. But then we can also pay a blue and a green and tap it to double the number of each kind of counter on up to 2 target creatures and or artifacts we control. So that can also make some things very big. But this is the card we really wanted to try. I didn't see anybody playing this in the preseason, but a 5 mana 6/6 with reach, trample, indestructible potentially draws us cards as well, which is really good. So this does a little bit of everything. And since we have multiple things that can put counters on stuff, we could potentially control this, keeping it always as an attacker or being able to draw cards every time or whatever the case is. So we'll see how this works. But having indestructible should help the deck out as well. And the reason we cut down some of those other cards was to play some Horned Lock Whales. While I'm not a huge fan of this card, it does serve a purpose for helping us against mono red or the red-based aggro-y things. So at least we can get to some of our 4/4, 5/5s, whatever, maybe gain a little life, get some counters on things, and then start locking the board down. Because without it, I think we could be in a lot of trouble. Worst case scenario, against control decks during their instep, we can flash in a 6/6, and it still does something. But otherwise, that's it. Nothing too crazy. We did get a blue-green Verge, so we're going to play a couple of those here in the list. But otherwise, nothing too surprising here. Everything's what you should expect. But y'all know the drill. If you want to get the deck list, it will be available over on Moxfield, our channel sponsor. I'll leave a link so you can go check that out. And also, if you want to buy this deck or fill out your Commander decks, because we just have all the bracket discussion happening or whatever, check out our friends over at Tales of Adventure. It's toamagic.com. Use code DRAGON, DRAGN. It'll save you 5% on everything you put in your card over there. And they will continue to support the channel, and you'll be helping me afford an editor, which is what a lot of my sponsor money is going to go toward this year, and I really appreciate it. But all right, that said, let's go see if Sabsunin really is as big as we think. Why does the Frog God make you feel uncomfortable things? What are you, 12? like, you probably looked at them Suzanne Summers Thigh Master commercials and probably had a good time, huh? I don't know. That's an old reference. You got to be old to even know what I'm talking about. Go Google that one. Suzanne Summers Thigh Master. You'll get the joke. All right. Let's go see. This may not even be any good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to swap a couple of lands still. I think I'm going to go one less island and one more forest. Because we do have these Willow Rush Verge that don't produce green immediately. Hey, we is old. There's some old heads that come around my stuff. Like, I've had to tell people, let me play a couple of practice games first to even see if this even works. And then we'll go into the ladder. But, like, the crazy thing is to talk to people that don't understand. Like, I've literally been in the industry, running a shop, writing articles, doing all that, and have played Magic longer than a lot of the current players have been alive. Like, that's crazy. Thigh Master was your mom. How your mom stayed hot. Oh, I'd probably start in trouble here, but that's so funny. She was it. She was lit back in the day. I ain't gonna lie. All right, let's go. Hey, we got district mascots because we get to see if these hit, so this will be fun. Oh, Chase, where you going? Well, that doesn't count. Though I guess that's an achievement. Win your first game or something? Like, I don't know. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't think I'd reference a Suzanne Summers thing on my stream. Hell, I had people get mad that I referenced Snoop Dogg because I was being too urban. So there's that. And it wasn't just Snoop Dogg. It was Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart's TV show we were talking about. At least y'all appreciate that reference. All right. Okay, this might end up being a little curve out play. This could be all right. We're just going to go with one of these early. I've wondered that before. Like, how many people, genuinely, because I don't know this answer. Like, how many people see a YouTuber they know and go, "Oh, I don't want to end up on a YouTube video." Because sometimes we're just testing stuff. Like, I'm not even recording. I'm just like trying stuff. But I wonder how often that comes up for people, where that's like a real thing. Oh boy, we're up against rabbits. How do we want to treat this? If we're up against rabbits, I don't know what we want to do here. Like, obviously, want to put a counter. I guess I put it on Paw Patch Recruits. No, I'm going to put it on Bill. And then, I guess play this. And attack. They're not going to block. Oh, they are going to block. I thought they were just going to wait and play another Heir Apparent next turn. But, okay. I mean, I'm not mad that that happened. You're going to kill our Velocipede? Don't do it. Don't do it. It didn't do nothing to you. Yet. It will eventually. Oh, they're probably waiting to try to... Oh, we got the 5th land for Seb Sunan, though. That's sweet. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because why not? And then we'll play this, because it'll get counters. Oh, that's what you're doing? Okay, that's cool. We still get to attack for 5, so I'm alright with that. That's the best part about this, is like the next creature you play is basically going to be able to crew it. Because you get the counters. Alright, opponent's at 10. I mean, I don't hate how things are going. Here comes a second Heir Apparent. Obviously, they're trying to play 2 in a turn. No, you didn't even play 2 in a turn. Wow. This is a 9/9. Oh, yeah, because I got the... Oh, wow, that's gross. All right. Well, in we go, I guess. Block the 3/4 opponent. No, that tramples. Oh, okay, then. All right, you got some Heir Apparents. We are going to continue to think. So this is... If it has an even number... Okay, cool. So we do get to attack with it. Fantastic. Oh, this tramples, too. Oh, lovely. Love that for us. Oh, we get to put a +1/+1 on the thing. I guess we put it... here, since it tramples. Yeah, all right. I mean, this tramples too, so I don't think it even matters. Like, that's awesome. You just don't care about the Heir Apparent tokens. You're just like, whatever. We just have big monsters that trample. Let's just get it. All right, that was cool. Hey, Travis Decker, how's it going? Did you mention on the podcast or hear anything about the achievements being somewhat something PlayStation would acquire for MTGA console? What do you mean? Like, everybody has achievements. It's not like a PlayStation only thing. I'm confused by the statement. Like, why would we have a discussion about achievements being on a thing? I mean, games don't need achievements to be on PlayStation or Xbox. It's just a thing they have. But, like, would we eventually expect Magic to be on those consoles? Like, yeah, probably. I would think so. How to beat tokens? Absolutely. You just trample over them. Punch them in the mouth. Alright, let's play one of these. And then I guess I saddle this guy with this. This feels so junky, saddling a 1/1. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's the right thing to do. It just feels really bad. like you feel like you should be doing something more. Like here, I kind of want to draw the Paw Patch recruit so I could play Beast Caller, Paw Patch, get the counters, use the Paw Patch token to crew the mascot. I keep saying crew because of vehicles, but saddle it. You know what I mean. And then the next turn give me 2 lands, so I go back to back with Hunter's Talent and Ozolith, but we'll see. And... oh, it died. Okay, well, that's enough of that. I guess the good news is I don't have to worry about managing it anymore. That's not a thing. All right, so we kind of got what we wanted. So we'll just go with this for now. And then we'll start doubling up our tokens, counters next turn. I have a feeling they're going to have a lot of removal, though. Or big things like Shieldred, or maybe even the, whatever we call it, the 2/3 that doesn't die. The Relentless Slasher, or whatever that guy is. Ah, there's a red man. Oh, this might be a sacrifice deck, which might be why you're playing Link Breaker. That would make sense. Let's see, though. Saddling the district mascot, a corgi, feels wrong in flavor. That's true. But I bet you looked happy the whole time, because I don't think corgis have another button. Okay, so obviously they're saving up a removal spell, so no need to even get too worked up over it here. So then the play here is... man, do we even use Hunter's Talent here? I mean, I guess so. Maybe I can set up to start drawing cards. So we'll use the Hunter's Talent. We'll target the bigger Beast Caller, because at least when it dies, we get to move a counter. Because we know they're going to kill it. Like, you don't pause that long in your turn to not play a creature and not do... well, okay, I'm wrong. Maybe you do. Like, I don't know why, but that feels weird. All right. And we flash... well, they don't... what do we... huh. Okay. Sure? Alright, that was a weird turn. I'm just gonna assume they have a lot of removal. And we gotta find some of our 30 creatures in the deck. Or not. Okay, there you go. Now you kill a thing and you get a counter on Vlad. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so you might as well block or attack. Okay, Paw Patch recruit. Great. Love it. I mean, this is for real where... oh, they don't have remove for Beast Caller? Oh, y'all. Y'all. Hold up. Alrighty, then. Love that. I legit thought they were saving 2 mana to kill the Beast Caller. And we were just going to be left with 2 Paw Patch recruits. But now this is great. Because if they have something kill a Beast Caller, we get to move those counters and the recruit counters, and they have trample. Like, it would be hard for that to be better right now. And... yeah, they're playing some type of sacrifice thing, it looks like. With some extra removal. Man, we kind of got lucky, too, because we did not draw very many creatures. For having 30 creatures in here, we drew 4. And 2 of them died a very ugly death. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not blocking. That is safe. I have no interest in such things. What is this? It gets +2, +0? Okay. Yeah, and that should do it. Because then we just spin the mana, put a counter here. Put 2, technically. Raise the level of this. And then just get in there. Make this thing trample. Yep, that'll do it. Alright, let's go get a couple of ladder games in. How many of y'all actually use these little emote things they put in here? We were talking about that earlier in our Discord, that I don't think I've ever used in them. I use, like, of the basic ones, I use like 3. But I don't think I've ever put one in to actually use, like, the special ones. I might have some on my account somewhere that I could load, but I couldn't even tell you which ones. I'm not even 100% sure. Like, I'm pretty sure I know how to do it, but I've never even tried. Okay, we go first. 2 Zamone isn't great, but this is mostly fine. So I think I'm going to lead with Beastcaller. If for some magical world Beastcaller lives, then we can Bristly Bill, get a counter on Beastcaller, play a land, put a counter on Bill. Whereas we do it the other way, we have Bill as a 3/3 and just Beastcaller as a 2/2. And we need to get an extra land anyway if we want these Zamones to matter. Alright, play the Vinestalk. No, we're going to get cut down. That's so sad for us. Whoa, that Verge makes a noise. That's weird. It's like it sounded like a portal opened. No! You're ruining our plans. Alright, well, you get a Bristly Bill. Any Vigilante Justice and we top deck one? No. You know what? That's not terrible, though. Alright, I'll attack. I mean, you're not going to trade for both of those, obviously. See, the weird part here, though, is like if I... Yeah, alright. I was going to say, if I bounce the Cavern, they're just going to replay it. But maybe I'm okay with that, right? We kind of lock up their turn. Alright, I think I am going to do that. It's not great. It's not a good play, mind you. But it does force their turn of just like, if you don't really want me to have this Bristly Bill... Wait, oh, because it puts it on top. But it didn't put it in their hand. Never mind. I was thinking it was a different card. Alright, well, we're going to go with Zamone here. You either can kill my Beastcaller or you can't. Of course. I assumed something like that would be coming. Alright, well, you get the counters, friend. Because, you know, who else is there to get them? Oh, love that for us. Now we have choices. So we go... District Mascots... Bill... Land counter on... Bill? So he can't get cut down or something? Counter here, counter here? I mean, do I just double... Nah, we attack. Alright. End the turn. Unholy Annex. Alright. So, pressure's on. We got to get to work here. Actually, no. You know what we're going to do? I'm just... Oh, that's good. But I'm just going to attack here. And then use Bill to double counters. Right? So we just go counter, counter. And then attack. And, like, you got to block. Yeah, you're just dead. Yeah, you say that's not really an option here, friend. All right. I mean, this is just keyword big. This is what we're doing. Yeah, like sure. I do like that because we beat mono black. But I will say this: obviously, the opponent got stuck on mana for a minute, so that's whatever. But having the dog, one thing I didn't think about this mascot, with us having so many ways to put counters on stuff, being able to kill one of these rooms is actually pretty legit. Like if we didn't have anything else productive to do there, could have just like played Velocipede, remove some counters from the dog, kill a room, and keep attacking. And that actually is pretty good against mono black. Not a thing I even thought about. So while I was disrespecting this district mascot, it might actually have a couple of different uses. Are fetch lands considered tutors in the new commander bracket system? No, they are not. They are just lands. They're fetch lands, but they are just lands. And by the way, if y'all still have questions for the commander bracket system, feel free to ask. I was, for lack of a better term, one of the people in the room, so I will clarify things as best I can for you. Ooh, what do we do with this? Man, on the draw, this is not particularly great, but we do have access to Lockwhale. I don't know. This is a tough one to decide if this is worth. I mean, we obviously keep it. I'm just trying to figure out like the order we're gonna play stuff. I also just noticed it has this little icon for exhaust, which is interesting. I guess now every keyword or new ability is gonna get a little symbol. I know we've been doing it for a minute, but all right. Well, we might actually need. Oh, I should have just played that first. Dang it! I wasn't paying attention to what we just drew. All right. Yeah, we might end up too far behind, especially since I didn't play that turn one. That was just silly. All right, I can at least get a thing off the battlefield, so that's something. Probably has to be Horde Master here, though. That guy's also annoying. But let's go here. All right. Let's play this into this. I mean, this gives us 2 blockers. We could technically chump block with Beast Caller, move the counters over. Well, we can't block the Bastronaut because it's got Menace, unless I wanted to double block. But that seems like a little bit of a bad idea. I mean, I guess here I would double block still. Probably still worth it. Yeah. Don't love it, but it's fine. Alright, move a counter over to there. Ooh. I mean, if I play Tumblewag, I turn this into a 3/3. That's not quite enough to do anything. But it might be what we've got to do. Yeah, I guess so. Man, I just playing sloppy, not playing this turn 1 actually was a big difference. All right, we should be dead now, right? I mean, I guess not quite, because we could double block. But then they're going to make a bunch of dudes next turn, and all we're going to have access to is Lockwhale, potentially. I mean, we could get to see what Seat of Arma's up to, right? Put counters on it. Then I have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control. You know, maybe. I mean, the problem is we're dead anyway, right? Because they make a minimum of 4 goblins, possibly 5, that are all going to be 3/3s, and then they give them haste. So I can't even block effectively. Let's say even if I block 3 of them, And I take 1, so that'd be 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're just dead. All right, GG's opponent. Yeah, we just didn't do much that game. Needed a fight spell. It was close. It was close. Needed a couple of spells to come up a little differently. Actually, because we drew so many lands, had one of those cards in our hand been a Bristly Bill as well, that would have helped. Because we just needed 1 or 2 creatures to be able to effectively survive the combat. I think we could have been all right. Fad Castle. Yeah, gross. We have to mulligan this. Somehow we drew really none of our 2 mana things, and we have a lot of them, which makes me sad. Okay, this is a little bit better. Keep this, and probably... I'm going to gamble. Probably a bad gamble, but I'm going to gamble. Let's see where we're at. All right, they played a tap land, so District Mascot doesn't get wrecked here. Ooh, that changes things a little bit. All right. Saddle up. It's still weird. I think y'all are right. It is a little awkward with the Corgi getting saddled, but you do what you got to do when times are rough, I guess. Oh, opponent didn't do anything weird. Bill? No kill spell? Yeesh. Man, are we about to get wrecked by split up? Man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a little concerned here. I'm actually not gonna attack with Bill just so I can test the theory. Like, because I would think if you have a split up, you would still play it here, right? If they don't, we just got a big turn next turn. Okay, you're not gonna be able to cast split up with those. Lauren doesn't get to kill anything. All right. Have this now. So you played Lauren. You're playing Legends. All right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm overcommitting here, but I'm not sure what else we're supposed to do. And then just attack, I guess. I mean, maybe we got slow rolled and here comes the actual sweeper. I don't know. Nope, not like that. So this is human Legends. All right. Oh, there's a Thalia. Well, yep, GG's. Good thing our stuff was already in play. All right. So that was weird. We sort of won that one by just curving out for the most part. Like, didn't even get a 4th land. We just went dog, Bill, Tumblewag, deal a bunch of damage. And that was sort of it. Just put counters on every turn. I guess sometimes it just happens. This is what I'm saying, though. Like, that game that we just played would never happen in a tournament. Right? Like, nobody's going to have that deck. Nobody's going to play it that way or keep that type of hand. So that's why when people talk about tiers, I try to tell people, tiers don't really matter on the ladder. Like, you can still ladder up, get to Mythic, whatever, playing junk. I mean, I do it all the time. But I've also said many times, many of the decks I build and play for content, I would never consider playing in a tournament. Maybe like 15 or 20% of them tops. Okay, what are we doing here? God, why does this feel so bad? I'm going to keep it, but I think this is probably a bad keep. Mostly because I don't have a real plan on what would even be happening here. Let's get rid of that. I was actually wondering what I was going to do if I drew a untapped green source. But I think I just go ahead and play the Paw Patrick route. If they're playing removal, so be it. And this works out because we have a bunch of stuff that costs 2. So this coming into play tapped on turn 3 isn't terrible. Oh no! Fair enough. Let's go ahead and just play this. I feel like there's going to be like a Rotten Mouth Viper or something. It's going to make us very sad. Oh, this is just one of those decks. We're just going to have piles of removal. Fair enough. You got it. That's cute. All right. Why is my phone ringing? Oh, weird. I get calls from like my electric company sometimes. It's like, we have this thing going on where we're trying to get people to save more energy from like this time to this time tomorrow. Which is cool that they do it. It's just weird that we get all those calls. Sure, that works. And I guess this is the turn where they try to play, like, the 4-3 thing. I mean, I can't block. Yep, might as well get in there. Engines are up to 2. All right, fair. Do. You got it. Do I want to remove? I'll remove something from their yard, I guess, maybe, in case they can return that. But this is also, like, when we're saying that early hand, why I thought I could have actually possibly held on to a Paw Patrick route, because for this very type of situation. Play the land. Wondering if I need to cycle this, knowing what that's in their hand, because I'm not going to get to play this effectively anyway. Yeah, maybe we do. I mean, there's already a questionable hand. Oh, that didn't get any better. All right. Well, we're probably just dead here. Pretty sure nothing good is going to come of this. Yep, you got it. Yeah, and those are obviously removal cards at this point. Oh, that's not helping. Come on now. Oh no, you're so late. You're so late. Doesn't matter here anyway, because they're playing all the sacrifice things, so whatever. Alright, I'm just going to give them the GGs. Like, bad hand, played badly, deserved to lose. Like, that was totally on me. I had every chance in that one. I made every wrong decision. But that's why, when you see the blue-black and you know they're playing a lot of sacrifice stuff, like, sometimes holding on to the Paw Patrick route can get you 2 bodies, and that matters. This is the Saddle Brigade, but okay. Sure. Oh, against green? I don't know if we can even... Like, green can now just play 2-mana 3/3s, and we definitely can't punch past that. Okay, Bill at least one time. We can... Oh, wait, we might... Can we fight Bill here? No, we have to try to fight Bill next turn. Actually, I don't know if we ever get a good chance to fight Bill in this scenario. It's not true. I guess we could attack with the mascot and then fight next turn. Okay, I guess it's still possible. I don't know how I feel about... I almost just played another mascot, but this is more cost effective. Alright. I also feel like that would have told us something, because if they were to block there, then it would have basically been like, all right, you're trying to protect against some artifacts or enchantments coming, because otherwise there's no good reason to block there. Innkeeper's Talent. Add some counters. Well, now we definitely cannot kill Bill here. So that's super unfortunate. So we have to start thinking of other plans. So we can do this. And this. Pass the turn. I guess I could, like, eventually kill that. But that's not great. But might be something we have to do. I mean, fight spells galore. Go for it. Take your pick. There's options. Yeah, I don't think we have a real good choice here. Yep, I figured there was going to be something like that. Alright, we can move a counter. I guess we put it here. I mean, Bill still becomes 6, 7. So yeah, we're still not going to be able to kill it. Like, maybe there's some world where... Oh, no, they're attacking too? Alright. Well, I guess we're just dead next turn. Like, not sure what else we're going to do. Oh, yeah, and we got another Hunter's Talent. That doesn't help us here at all. Yeah, we're just dead. Right? Because this gets 2 more counters, so that'll go to 8, and they double the counters to 16 with trample. Yeah. Alright, GG's. That was just a game where nothing happened, and we just drew bad. Oh, yeah, if we had a Horn Lockwell, for sure. Like, but we drew badly there. Like, they had the right cards to make the cards in our hand not good. They drew what they needed. We did not. Sometimes Magic just is like that. Okay. We go first. Sure. You know what I'm thinking, though? While having all this +1/+1 stuff is kind of fun, maybe the world is just about, don't go hard on these little +1/+1 bonuses. Play like the Llanowar Elves and things like that of the world. And then just go on the top end with the big Sabsunin or whatever. And just lean on that. Like, basically just play better things at the low end. And then just go hard up top, you know? No, there goes a Hunter's Talent. They didn't have a cut down, though. And that's actually super good. Let's go counter. And play this. And attack. Man, losing that Hunter's Talent, though, I bet you that's going to come back to bite us here. Ooh, what do we do with this? I think we have to keep Bristly Bill. Alright, you got to go, friend. Much as I like having you around later. You just ain't it right now. Drawing a district mascot sort of changes my opinion, at least a little bit. Let's play this. And then I want to put a counter on the Scavenging Ooze. And then do this. And attack here to get rid of you. Alright, in the turn. Alright, well, I guess we're not attacking for a minute, huh? This is where, if you're going to attack, you just got to do it all at once. Alright. They might also just sweep the board here. Who the hell knows? Alright, well, there will be demons to deal with shortly. Unless I could put a counter on my district mascot. We'll see. I mean, I guess technically I could put a counter on the district mascot anyway. I could just saddle, attack, before damage, kill that. Don't love it, but it's probably what we gotta do. Get this in there. Oh, I can only... Wait, can I not? Oh, I guess they have to declare it. Can I still not? Wait. How can I not? Wait. Destroy target emphatic. When this creature attacks while saddled, put a +1. Why am I not getting a chance to remove these? Oh, it's artifact, not or enchantment. Oh, no. I thought it was artifacts or enchantments. All right, well, that's that. Yeah, you get the sab soon, and I wasn't going to get to cast that anyway, so I guess I don't have to feel too bad. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Go to our graveyard. Get rid of that. Huh. Can't really do much with that. Alright. Cool. Yeah, I made a dumb mistake there that is going to keep us from winning. That one's on me. I can't even say anything about my opponent. That's totally my dumb mistake. Got to be aware of what your cards do. That's going to happen a lot with new cards. There is no vote for the 3 best decks, new best decks in Standard. I think anybody who tells you doesn't know the correct answer, and they're giving you an answer that you want to hear. We won't even know for several days. It's probably, like, the real answer, truthfully, is just going to be decks that were already good. So whatever decks were already good that can fit 2 of the new cards in there, start there. That's the real answer. I know it's not what you want to hear, but that's... If you just want to play safe on what's going to be good, that's the way you want to go. Opponent. Tiny Bones, a 1/3 burglar. Alright, let's go here. And saddle up this guy. Opponent just playing hardcore discard here? With Tiny Bones and... Alright. Might be Liliana time. How do I have 30 creatures and only drew 3? I just realized that. I'm like, how am I holding all these lands? I need creatures. The other Tiny Bones. Which, hey, Sabsunin would be legit if you get that into play. Fortunately, we can at least... Well, until they play Duress, let's say we can kill a Tiny Bones. Let's draw another dog. Or Patchwork. Not that. That is definitely not what I wanted to draw. Wrong answer. And I guess there's no need to attack. Annex, sure. I mean, that shows up in so many decks now. Gross. That did not help at all. Well, can't really do much here if we're just not going to draw creatures, you know? It's only a matter of time until we find another removal spell drawing an extra card every turn. Probably where the Beast Caller dies here. Unless they activate Tiny Bones, maybe. We could get lucky. Maybe. I mean, one more and we have to start dealing with the demon as well. So that's a whole different problem. They're thinking about... Okay, they are going to use Tiny Bones. Sure. Discard this. Alright, come on, deck. Oh, and it's just a mascot. Like, ugh. Like, of all the things, but sure. I mean, it's better than nothing. We get to draw a card at least at the end of turn. So, there's that. But this might have taken us too long to get another threat. And we drew a land. Yeah, we could be in real trouble here. And we don't have a creature land in play. Like, oh. Oh, they have green mana. What? Yeah, I have to assume we're just too far behind now, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we can't win here. I'm just going to let my opponent have this. We're not winning this. Like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we can't win only drawing that many creatures. Like, that's not real. Like, you don't have any real chance. All right, I have a few minutes before I got to get out here. So here's what I want to try. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to go get rid of... Let's go ahead and export import. Because I want to do something else here. So we're just going to call this Simic Counters version 2. So here's what I'm going to do. District Mascot is neat, but I think we're better off just having Llanowar Elves. Legitly. Why does it always do that? All right. And then, still don't know how good Seat of Arma is, so, you know, jury's out. Don't know. Velocipede's still been fine. We just haven't drawn it very much. But what I'm wondering is, do we want to go higher on Zamone and try to maximize playing Sabsunin? Because I feel like there might be something to that. And then just say, all right, we're going to try to just hit the upper end, get the value off of our stuff as best we can. Still have the Lock Whales. I don't know where we find spots for another card, unfortunately. It's kind of the other issue here. But... yeah, because the dog has been neat, but we just haven't desperately needed it at any point. And honestly, being able to just play like Velocipede earlier, or Zamone, or Sabsun, any of these would just be better. Don't really want Cenote Scout. It doesn't bring anything to the table here, other than having a +1/+1 on it. We don't care about having stuff in the graveyard or whatever. So, not my jam here. I would go an extra Sabsunin if I could find room. Man, hold on. What do we have for mana makers right now? Is there not like... oh, we don't have that blue-green one anymore from a couple rotations ago. That would be super nice right now. Like, this guy makes mana, but you're going to play things that cost 5 or more, so that doesn't really solve our problem. There's Llanowar, Loam Speaker, Twitching Doll. All these are kind of rough. I mean, we do get Scrap Gorger if we want to remove stuff from graveyards. That's an option. That's an 0/3, which could help if we want to go into Zamone or Sabsunin. Let's try this. What if we go no Scavenging Oozes? I'm just going to gamble here. And then I still probably want Hunter's Talents, though. Could we get by... I guess we cut one Seat of Varma. Man. One Ozolith? Play another Zamone. I guess here's another question. Do we need Ozolith that badly? I think I'd rather have more bodies here. I'm just going to go another Sabsunin. And we'll just craft that. Alright, let's see what this does. I probably have time for one more game, unless it's super short. Change this to this. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to mess with this some more this evening, before I make the final version for the video. Alright. Not a lot of mana here, unfortunately. Wish we were on the play. Probably means we're losing an elf here. We are definitely losing an elf here. I'm going to say, you're not going to not kill the elf when you have a chance, right? Is it Delirium? We don't know yet, but it looks like the answer could be yes. And unfortunately, we drew all the expensive stuff with no mana. Just one of those days. Sure, that's fine if that dies. We could live with that. Paw Recruit? No, this is just like a little Gruul aggro pile of thing. Alright, so I guess we go here and just play the recruit and hope we draw an untap land on back-to-back turns. It's kind of our goal. Seed of Hope gets them a 4th card type in there. Happens to be a land. They get to play a land also with 2 unknown cards in hand. Screaming Nemesis. Super bad for us, but I guess that has to be okay. We just take 3. Alright, got Zamone. So that's a start. Go to 13. Put counter, just so we have options to block more things. And I think we just take 4, probably, unless that's the double strike thing in hand. If it is, it sucks for us, but... Alright, Paw Recruit we could live with. So then we just take 4, blocking the Screaming Nemesis, and that's fine. Like, at least now, the board is reasonable. We have 9 life. Technically 8 life, because unless we draw an untapped blue source here. And then we just go from there. This does help, though. Also, randomly something we could block that with later, if we feel it's necessary. Let's put counter. And attack with this, because if you want to triple block or something, fine. Yep. Alright. Insight, Dredge, gain a life. Alright, nothing too crazy there. They'll get the discard draw. That's fine. Okay. A Lock Whale, but this is just way more exciting, so we're just going to go here. Trigger some things, remove. You have instant, creature, land, artifacts, or enchant. Oh, they have everything. All right, let's start here at least. They do get to gain a life, but it's whatever. Now, do I want to just draw 2 cards? I think I do. Oh, wait, do I not? Oh, at the beginning of the first main phase. Oops, I should have just left it as a 6/6 blocker. That's my mistake. Got to learn how the new cards work. It's not when you end the counter. It's like at the beginning of the first main phase, we get to put the counter, then we get stuff. But we win anyway. Yeah, I think focusing more on having Zamones and Sabsunins is probably the way to go here, I think. Just better upper end cards that are harder for the opponents to deal with. Because if either of these stick, you just start getting so much of a bigger advantage. And Llanowar Elf can help facilitate that. But alright, y'all. I've got to wrap things up here because I have another show to do. So if y'all want to prep a little bit and you want to watch us play some Baldur's Gate 3, I almost got the name of the game, you can check us out over at Magic Mics. So we'll put to twitch.tv/Magic Mics. If you want to follow us over there, we will be live in probably the next 6 or 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, and we'll be playing some Baldur's Gate there. Otherwise, be sure to go buy your Magic things over at toamagic.com. use code DRAGON. That'll save you 5%. And you'll be helping me get an editor. So any of the memberships you buy on YouTube, any of the merchandise you buy for the next couple months, anything you subscribe to on Twitch, like that's where I'm putting that money toward. I'm trying to make more content for y'all that's better content. And I just got to get to where I can pay somebody. I got to buy some time back. So hopefully y'all will support me in those causes. But otherwise, it's been fun. We'll probably do this more over the next few days. Maybe not tomorrow. Wednesdays tend to be busy for me. But probably Thursday, Friday, maybe even over the weekend, get some more streams in and build some more decks. So we will see y'all then. Also, have fun with Commander in the brackets. Let us know what you think. Hop in my Discord, links in the description if you want to come by, ask questions. Tell me if you love it, you hate it, any of that. I'm okay with all the feedback. All of it helps.